Welcome everyone to another mind-blowing episode on disturbing history mysteries. Today's topic is one for the history books, literally. We're going to talk about the 10 most powerful men in the history of the world. Trust me, you'll want to stick around for the entire list. One, Alexander the Great. Born in 356 BC in Pella, Macedonia, Alexander was tutored by the philosopher Aristotle. He succeeded his father, King Philip II, at the age of 20, and quickly undertook an ambitious campaign of conquest. His most renowned battle, Gaugamela in 331 BC, saw him defeat Darius III and effectively collapse the Achaemenid Empire. He ventured into India but turned back at the Beas River, possibly due to troop exhaustion. Alexander died under mysterious circumstances in Babylon in 323 BC. When we think about Alexander the Great, we can't overlook his strategic genius. Take the Battle of Gaugamela, for example. He faced a much larger Persian force, yet used tactics that neutralized his enemy's numerical advantage. It was this kind of military acumen that made him nearly unbeatable on the battlefield. But Alexander's story isn't just about war. It's also about a vision for a cosmopolitan world. The cities he founded, often named Alexandria, were hotbeds of cultural exchange. He encouraged intermarriages between his soldiers and locals, aiming to create a new, unified society. Despite his early death at the age of 32, Alexander's influence can be felt even today, in terms of geopolitical borders, language, and even the spread of ideas like Hellenistic Buddhism. 2. Julius Caesar. Born in Rome in 100 BC, Julius Caesar was initially a military general who exhibited his genius in the Gallic Wars. In 49 BC, he crossed the Rubicon, signaling a civil war. He implemented the Julian calendar and conducted significant social and governmental reforms, including centralization of the bureaucracy. He was assassinated on the Ides of March, 44 BC, leading to the end of the Roman Republic and the rise of the Roman Empire under his grandnephew, Augustus. While Caesar is often praised for his military exploits, it's crucial to understand his political acumen. The First Triumvirate, a political alliance with Pompey and Crassus, showed Caesar's understanding of power dynamics. His social reforms, like giving land to veterans, were transformative for Roman society. Caesar was also an author, penning commentaries that provide invaluable historical insights. His influence on the Roman calendar is another overlooked aspect. The Julian calendar served as a basis for the calendar we use today. And let's not forget the enduring impact of Caesar's life in literature and entertainment. From Shakespeare's play to modern movies, Caesar has been immortalized in countless ways. 3. Genghis Khan. Born as Temujin in 1162 in what is now Mongolia, Genghis Khan united the Mongol tribes and started the Mongol invasions, capturing territories from China to Eastern Europe. The Yasa code was his legal code, and he introduced the Uyghur script as the writing system. His empire was the largest contiguous empire in history. He died in 1227 under uncertain circumstances, and his tomb remains undiscovered. Contrary to the common perception of Genghis Khan as merely a ruthless conqueror, he was also an administrative genius. The Yasa Code of Laws, which he implemented, covered everything from property rights to religious freedom. His postal system, the Yam, was sophisticated for its time, involving relay stations and mounted couriers. He was also highly meritocratic, valuing skills and loyalty over lineage. That said, his legacy is marred by the sheer scale of destruction he wrought, which raises ethical questions that historians grapple with even today. But his influence, especially in the realm of military strategy and administration, cannot be discounted. Segment 4. Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon was born in Corsica in 1769 and rose through the ranks during the French Revolution. He staged a coup in 1799, becoming the first consul of France and later emperor in 1804. He implemented many civil reforms, including the Napoleonic Code. His downfall began with the invasion of Russia in 1812 and culminated in his exile to St. Helena, where he died in 1821. Napoleon wasn't just a military commander, he was a brand builder. He understood the power of propaganda long before it became a modern tool. He commissioned paintings, monuments, and even controlled newspapers to build a cult of personality. The Napoleonic Wars restructured Europe, leading to the rise and fall of states, creating a churn that shaped modern European nations. 5. Abraham Lincoln. Born in 1809 in a log cabin in Kentucky, Lincoln served as the 16th President of the United States from 1861 until his assassination in 1865. Notable for the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863 and the successful navigation of the American Civil War, Lincoln was killed by John Wilkes Booth just days after General Lee's surrender. Lincoln's Gettysburg Address, consisting of just 272 words, is a testament to the power of concise language. Lincoln was a master communicator, using his skills to navigate the nation through its darkest hours. His debates with Stephen Douglas during the Illinois Senate race were intellectual duels that captivated the nation. More importantly, the Emancipation Proclamation wasn't just a moral stance, but a strategic move to cripple the Confederacy's labor force. After his assassination, the myth-making around Lincoln began almost immediately, making him an American demigod, whose lessons in leadership are studied avidly. 6. Winston Churchill. Born in 1874, Winston Churchill served as Britain's Prime Minister from 1940–1945 and again from 1951–1955. Notable for his leadership during WWE, he was also a Nobel laureate in literature for his 6-volume history of the war. His Iron Curtain speech in 1946 signaled the beginning of the Cold War era. Churchill's early life was marked by a complicated relationship with his parents and academic struggles, aspects that humanize this larger-than-life figure. Before becoming Britain's wartime leader, Churchill was a soldier, a journalist, and an author, acquiring a set of diverse skills that would later serve him well. His role in planning the Gallipoli campaign during World War I was a disastrous failure, but offered him lessons in humility. It's also interesting to note his switch from the Conservative Party to the Liberal Party and back, showing his pragmatic approach to politics. Churchill's wit was as famous as his speeches. Phrases like Iron Curtain have entered everyday language, underlining his influence as an orator. 7. Albert Einstein. Born in Germany in 1879, Einstein formulated the theory of relativity. He received the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1921 for his explanation of the photoelectric effect. He immigrated to the USA in 1933 due to the rise of Nazism, and was instrumental in initiating the Manhattan Project, though he later advocated for nuclear disarmament. Einstein was a pacifist, a stance that changed with the rise of Nazism. His letter to President Roosevelt about the potential of atomic energy had far-reaching consequences, leading to the Manhattan Project. Einstein's work wasn't confined to theoretical physics. He also contributed to philosophy, ethics, and even civil rights, being a member of the NHACP. Interestingly, he declined an offer to be Israel's president, showing his reluctance to enter political arenas despite strong ideological stances. Einstein's thought experiments, like imagining riding alongside a light beam, have become staples in teaching complex ideas in an accessible way. 8. Mahatma Gandhi. Born in 1869 in Porbandar, India, Gandhi was the leader of the Indian nationalist movement against British rule. His doctrine of non-violent protest, satyagraha, led to India's independence in 1947. He was assassinated by a Hindu nationalist in 1948. Gandhi's influence wasn't just in the political realm. His ideas about self-sufficiency were revolutionary. The concept of sarvodaya, or welfare for all, was an ideal he constantly pursued. Gandhi was also deeply introspective. His autobiography serves as a compelling narrative of a man consistently in search of truth. His complex relationship with Subhas Chandra Bose, another independence leader, shows Gandhi's abilities to engage with differing viewpoints. Gandhi's assassination marked the end of an era, but his ideas about civil disobedience influenced leaders worldwide, from Nelson Mandela to Cesar Chavez 9, Martin Luther King Jr. Born in 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia, MLK was a leader in the American civil rights movement. He's most famous for his leadership role in the Montgomery bus boycott and the March on Washington, where he delivered his iconic "I Have a Dream" speech. He was assassinated in Memphis in 1968. King's letter from Birmingham jail is a masterclass in ethical reasoning and civil disobedience. His ability to unite various factions of the civil rights movement under a banner of non-violence was a significant achievement. King's opposition to the Vietnam War highlighted his broader vision for a just society. Unfortunately, King was a controversial figure, subject to surveillance by the FBI, revealing the extent to which he was seen as a threat by the establishment. Since his untimely death, King's writings and speeches have been analyzed, quoted, and studied, making him a perennial subject for scholars and activists alike. 10. Leonardo da Vinci. Born in 1452 in Vinci, Italy, Leonardo was a polymath involved in fields from painting to engineering. His works like Mona Lisa and The Last Supper are cultural icons, and his notebooks reveal sketches and plans for inventions like a flying machine. Leonardo's interests were seemingly boundless, from anatomy to flight, from engineering to art. His Vitruvian Man is not just an iconic image, but a mathematical and anatomical study. Leonardo's notebooks, filled with sketches, scientific diagrams, and his thoughts on topics from flight to the properties of water, offer a window into a restless, inexhaustible mind. Da Vinci was also an accomplished musician, adding another layer to his genius. The mysterious smile of Mona Lisa continues to captivate us, while his unfinished works, like the Adoration of the Magi, offer a glimpse into his working process. If you want to learn more, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Until next time,